Hello, welcome back to another CD collection video. This is part 2. There's going to be a continuation of part 1, obviously. So yeah, let's get on with it. So first up we have Curse of the Cold Hearts by Betrayals 1, released in 2023. This album is basically just half and half. Like, the first 7 tracks are great. Like Turtle Gems, tracks 8 to 14 are decent, and tracks 15 to 18 were nothing special. Not shitting on this album at all, because I do like it, but I just didn't really enjoy it that much. Featuring verses from Akins, Masutio, or Makutio, or however the hell you say that name, I've got no idea. Sought After, Unscathed, Benny Holiday, MJP, Feezer and Davis, and Personal Space. Top songs on here for me were Turtle Destruction, Astral Projection, Silence in the Asylum, and Talk Trajectory. The worst songs were Remain Street and Perfect Execution. Overall pretty average, 6 out of 10. So Betrayals 1 with Curse of the Cold Hearts, released in 2023. I probably should explain that this is also going to be the Coverless edition, because I do not have the covers printed out yet. I did at one stage, but I ended up losing them. So until then, until I get the covers printed, I'm going to have to stick with this. Next up, we also have Betrayals 1 with his 9th album, released a year later, titled The Wrath of B. No singles released for this, as far as I'm aware. The only feature was Unscathed, and it was a really good cleaning music. However, whenever the house needs cleaning, just throw this on and do your thing. I really enjoyed it, and it's a headbanger. Top songs on here for me were Generated Hate, Succubus, Mic Controllers, Smoko Time, Harsh as Hell, Flip a Flow, Bite the Bullet, and Target Practice. Worst songs were Intermission, Running the Game, and Surrender. Overall game changer, 8 out of 10. So yeah, Betrayals 1 with The Wrath of B, released in 2024. Very dope album. And I must apologise, like part 1, this part 2 is also going to be very repetitive. Next up, we have Chance the Rapper with 10 Day, released in 2012. This is the debut mixtape by him. There are no singles on it. Again, as far as I'm aware, features include Alex Riley, Akenya Seymour, Vic Mensa, Salamane, Nico Siegel, Lil K, and Peter Cottontail. The mixtape was decent start to Chance's career, and is worth a listen. Top songs on here for me were, I'm going to have to go with 14,400 Minutes, Missing You, Long Time, You Got Me Fucked Up, and Family. The worst songs were 22 Offs, Juke, Fuck You Talking About, Long Time Part 2, and Prom Night, and Hey Ma. Definitely not the best thing I've ever heard, but it's alright. 6.9 out of 10. Very average. So yeah, but it is a decent one, and it's listenable. Chance the Rapper with 10 Day released in 2012. I'm a little congested at the moment, so if I sound funny, that might be why. Next up is Acid Rap by Chance the Rapper, released in 2013. This is the second mixtape by him. And the project is a sequel to his debut mixtape, 10 Day. The project features artists such as BJ the Chicago Kid, Lil K, No Sage Thang, fellow Save Money member Vic Mensa. Twist is also on here, No Name, Saba, Childish Gambino, Action Bronson, and Absol. Juice and Acid Rain were the only singles off here. The project was later released on the 30th of April 2013. Mixtape is quite enjoyable to listen to, and I really recommend it. Top songs for me on here were Good Ass Intro, Paranoia, Cocoa Butter, Lost, Everybody's Something, and Smoke Again. The worst ones were That's Love, Favorite Song, Nana, Acid Rap, Chain Smoker, and Good Ass Outro. Overall, very pleasurable, 7 out of 10. So yeah, Chance the Rapper with Acid Rap, released in 2013. Very enjoyable album, mixtape to listen to. I really am not feeling the best. Next up, in the Chance the Rapper side of things, we've got, and the last in his discography from this collection, is Colouring Book, released in 2016. This is his third mixtape. For the mixtape, he also collaborated with Kanye West, Young Thug, Francis and the Lights, Justin Bieber, which was pretty weird, 2 Chainz, Kirk Franklin, and the Chicago Children's Choir. Singles were Angels, No Problem, and Summer Friends. The mixtape is on the weaker side of the spectrum and is definitely not as enjoyable as I thought it would be. Top songs on here for me would be All We Got, Blessings, Same Drugs, Mixtape, Angels, All Night. And the worst songs were No Problem, Summer Friends, Dram, Sings, Special, Juke Jam, How Great, and Finish Line / Drown. Definitely not one I'll be listening to again soon. 4 out of 10. This one was quite terrible. So yeah, Colouring Book by Chance the Rapper, released in 2016. Very mediocre mixtape. Just let me go and change the song. Alright. Next up, we have A Proof Vision by Cheap Sober, released in 2021. This is his 4th album, with no features, and it's just Cheapy doing his thing. It's not too long either, just 25 minutes. There's only about 8 or 9 songs on here. It's very dope and very relaxing, and it's a relaxing album of songs from Cheapy. The only single being Bear. top songs on here for me were 144, Bear, Under the Stars, Let Down, and Champagne. Just let me go and turn that down a bit. Right, sorry about that. Yeah, the worst songs were On a Getaway, and that was the only worst song on here. Overall, highly recommended, 10 out of 10. So Cheap Sober with 80 Proof Vision, released in 2021, sorry. And 2 years later, we had his 5th album, which is Overseas Drifting, released in 2023. It spawned 4 singles, those being Benzo, Red Horse, Expired, and Chains. It yet again has no features and is a short album with 10 tracks, clocking in at only 25 minutes. It's yet another great album, and I love listening to it. Top songs on here for me were Benzo, Red Horse, Side Down, and Rejoice. The worst song was Chains. Overall, another great experience with Cheapy, 8 out of 10. So, yeah, very, very dope album. Cheap Sober with Overseas Drifting, released in 2023. And that's going to do it for the day. Like I said earlier, part 1 and part 2, which is, part 2 is this video, part 1 was the previous video. Those videos were very repetitive, but I promise part 3 onwards is going to be a mixture of things. So it's not just one artist, another artist, and so on and so forth. But yeah, stay well, stay blessed, look out for part 3. Peace.